Okay, so we had the Arizona plan to begin with, right?
Yes.
Or I guess maybe the Japanese plan to begin with.
Yes.
Then the Arizona plan where they're gonna play all the games in Arizona. The players will be forced to lock themselves in their hotel stadium. That's your life, which sounds completely ridiculous, and everyone said so.
Correct.
Uh, Mike Trout especially, and if Mike Trout doesn't want to do something, then it's not gonna happen. I was like, oh, I guess we'll just play the season without Mike Trout. Like, no, it's not. No. So then they're like, okay, let's do Arizona and Florida, but still lock yourselves in the hotel. It's like, okay, cool, same problem. And then they're like, okay, let's add Texas in there. It's like, okay, you're not being very creative with your ideas, right? And then they said, okay, let's have hub cities. Let's do LA and Phoenix and Dallas and Houston and Tampa. Like, okay. You're not really thinking of any new things. And now they finally have settled on one. It's one that's kind of been talked about for the last, I don't know, a couple weeks, maybe. Week and a half. Something like that. I say a couple weeks. And it's basically you're playing in your home ballparks, which is what the players wanted. And I think we're to a point where we can kind of justify that.
Yeah.
The whole situation. You know what I'm talking about. The Rona.
The Rona. COVID-19. The end of
COVID.
the world.
Yeah. We got this right here is the proposal. So to limit travel, you're only playing teams in your division and in the same division in the other league geographically.
So the things closest to you.
Yeah. The NL East will play the NL East teams and AL West teams. How much of each? I don't know. There's not really been that much talked into it, details. The union has the proposal now, but not a lot has leaked out besides kind of what we're seeing here in the story from Jeff Passan. I've also heard Passan. He has a name and has a pronunciation, but I've heard it two ways. I'm sorry, Jeff. I think it's Passan. I've heard that more. I don't know. So, 82 game season. So about half.
Yeah, because we're already halfway in the middle of the season already, so.
Right. But here's the thing. The players had agreed back in March to have the regular season extend all the way through October. So if you're going to do half a season starting in July is when this starts. Probably July 4th, huh?
Hopefully.
Very American.
Are they going to cut their pay in half?
So that's the sticking point. Some sources have come out and said that the union has not even touched on that because that's the sticking point. That's the thing that's going to throw the whole thing off. So it's like, let's figure everything else out first. And then we'll talk about the money. Because if we just talk about the money, we'll never get to anything else.
Right.
So let's figure everything else and get as close as we can. And then let's talk about the money. Because the owners are trying to fuck them over. Because they're greedy billionaires.
Yeah.
And of course, everyone's going to be like, okay, it's billionaires fighting against millionaires. Just fucking sign the contract and agree to it. Well, I mean, the players should get what they're deserved. They're the ones having to go out here and possibly contract the virus, putting themselves at greater risk instead of just staying home, right?
Right.
The billionaires can just stay home regardless.
Yeah. It's no skin off their back.
They can fucking hire someone to like spray them with sanitizer every 50 seconds. You know?
Yeah.
Pay them like $1 million per day and they'll be fine.
It's ridiculous.
I'm exaggerating, of course. but it's basically to that point. So, back in March, the players agreed to a deal which they would have prorated pay. So, take your salary, divide it by 162 games. That'll get your per game salary, right? Then multiply that number by however many games we're going to play, right?
Sure.
And that's prorate.
Yeah.
So, you would think that deal would stand. It sounds fair. If you're gonna
get what you
this is how much you're getting paid per game to begin with. Let's just do that. That's what they agreed to. That's what you think they'd get. So I think this is my theory. I think that the reason why they're not wanting to play in October, they're going to say, oh, weather, right? Well, we get snowstorms here in October every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Like Halloween. Every Halloween gets ruined by a snowstorm, it feels like. Or something, like sleet
like
or something.
16 degrees on Halloween this past Halloween.
Exactly. Like Christmas is like 50 degrees. And anyways. Ohio sucks for weather. Not that everyone needs to complain about every weather every day like they do here. Oh no, it's 80 degrees and perfect out. Oh, it's too hot. Shut the fuck up, you. Anyways. I could go on for a while about that. So, by not playing in October, you're lessening the number of games. They're originally talking like, let's play as many games as possible, right? Have multiple double headers. We'll add it to the roster to make up for it.
You're going to wear your players out so fast by doing that, though.
I need to keep this on the screen. I need to touch the computer more often. That's what I've learned. Or change my settings. We'll do that later. That was like 5 minutes. Anyways, not even. So by not playing in October, you're reducing the number of games. Like this is like regular schedule starting in July through the end. There's no like extra double headers and everything.
Yeah, so they just like cut the season like in half.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, well, pick it up right where we left off.
I think the reason for that is keep players' pay as low as possible. If I'm a player, I'm like, let's fucking add as many games as we can.
Right. Because especially you're getting paid per game.
Like, it's not like I have to play every game. My manager's got to give me an off day every once in a while or whatever.
Right.
So, I think that's kind of like what they're putting out there. So the players get screwed regardless. Because they're wanting to do a revenue sharing thing. Basically a salary cap. But they're not going to call it a salary cap. Is this even in here? I don't know if I can find it. 50-50 split of revenue from the 2020 season. I think that'd have to be team by team. Whatever revenue the team gets in this season, that gets cut in half. The owners get half. The players get half. And then, based on whatever everyone's contract is, a percentage of the total payroll before all this happened. A percentage. That percentage is what you get from the half that the players get, revenue-wise. That's the way you'd have to do it.
Yeah.
Because the Yankees' payroll is a lot more than the Rays' payroll.
Yeah.
So you can't go like 50-50 split of the whole thing and be like, okay, each team gets a 30th of that. You'd have to figure out like how much of the percentage would the Yankees get, and then the Rays, and then the players, and it just have to be team by team, you would think. But at the end of the day, it's still a salary cap, and the players do not want that because they want more money.
Right.
Salary cap means this is the most
that you're going to get.
And that's for all the players on the team.
Yeah.
like no bueno for the players. So they want to do the prorate thing, which they already agreed to. But since they're gonna cut it to 82 games, they're only gonna get half their salary anyways. So I think the owners are kind of like make like a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. They're not gonna agree to that 50-50 split. No. And it's so strange for them to put this in there because this, like, they've been trying to do a salary cap for like decades now. 32 is the player salary, and like we have the CBA ending after next season, and it's already a contentious fight. So now you gotta throw this and get some bad blood a year before you have to do another fucking negotiation for the CBA. And it's like, wouldn't you just want to like get this done and have everyone be happy, and maybe you can have better negotiations in a year so we don't have a strike?
I'd hope so.
It's like, what are you doing trying to piss off the players by throwing that in there? It's like the worst time for that right now.
They're all about money, though. Most of the people up there are about money. That's how it is with politics. It's how it is in other businesses, you know?
A little Miss Controversy over here. Okay.
Whatever.
Well, it's like they didn't become billionaires by accident. They became billionaires by having shrewd business deals, probably.
Yeah.
So, and their baseball team's no different. It's a business. Another thing about the revenue, the 50-50 split of the revenue versus what they already agreed to, this would be half their salary, but the prorated, however many games they play, blah, 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 is what is baseball revenue? Okay?
Right.
So, baseball revenue, according to the teams, is what you get like at the gates and concessions and stuff like that.
Well, that's not happening.
Merchandise. Exactly. Well, this is what they're talking about. It's like, we're not going to make as much money, so we're going to do a 50-50 split of the revenue. We can't afford to pay you what we already agreed to pay you. So why'd you agree to it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's baseball revenue. The TV deals are baseball revenue. Okay. Makes sense. You know what's not? Say they have a parking lot next to the stadium. I think on game day, that money is baseball revenue. But say there's a different event, maybe a concert in the off season at that stadium. The team still gets the money because they have the rights to the parking lot. But that's not baseball revenue anymore. Would they be getting that money if the baseball team didn't exist? No. But it's still not baseball revenue. Also, a lot of teams, I think 19 of the 30 teams, they, instead of taking more money on their local TV contract, like the Reds have Fox Sports Ohio, instead of taking the most money, they took a reduced amount with a stake in the ownership of that network. The money they get from that is not baseball revenue. So when they air, say, a Cavaliers game, a Blue Jackets game, the advertising that they get from that, the Reds get from that because they own, I think, 10% of Fox Sports Ohio now. That's not baseball revenue.
So
even though it's part of the baseball TV deal.
Yeah, so what are they even splitting? The 50-50 split of the revenue. Like, how much money is that even going to be? Like, what are they even taking into consideration?
It's whatever the team says is baseball revenue. And they want to get that number as low as they can. So, exactly, they're acting in such bad faith with this whole thing. Fuck no, never agree to that. Terrible.
Yeah. Especially since most of the shit is like, you're not gonna get anything to do with like concessions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
No parking, you know.
Maybe later in the season, like, just let in like
Lord knows.
season ticket holders.
Yeah, who knows what it's going to be like.
Like you sit in this section with your family, you sit in that section with your family.
Yeah.
They're letting fans in the Chinese Professional Baseball League right now. And it's like there's no concessions though. So and you can't bring anything to the stadium.
What the?
So it's like,
at least with the Reds, you can like bring in stuff. Like even if they,
I mean, are they gonna let you now? What if you're bringing coronavirus? I don't know.
That's true. But you can't like. Well, I mean, I guess you could do whatever the hell you feel like doing, but like opening up the stadium for like, I don't know, 50 people to come in. They all have to be separated, but you can't get concession stands. It's like, what the hell are they going to eat and drink all day and you can't bring in stuff? Like,
I guess go to the bathroom, cup your hand under the faucet. Could die of thirst out there.
It would be better for them to like, you can bring in food, you know, like especially if they're all separated and stuff like that, versus everyone gathering together at like, because not all the concession stands are going to be open. It's only going to be certain ones, and like then everyone would group together at the one concession stand. But anyways,
I'm just telling you what they're doing in Taiwan. So
I mean, I know, but we could do better.
yeah. Yeah, 82 game schedule, just the two divisions. I think they're still talking about treating it like as two leagues though, like National League and American League. Even though it's universal DH now. I mean, that's another thing. The players want the DH. Let's just be honest right now. The players want the DH. So we have one more year on this collective bargaining agreement. So what we're going to have the DH this year, go back to what it has always been, well, since the 70s when they implemented the DH in the American League. And then once the new CBA is ratified the season after, everyone has DH again. That's going to be weird.
Yeah.
Unless they just agree to. I think this is it. This is it. There's the DH forever now. I know. We'll talk about the DH later. That's a whole thing. Games played in home stadiums where allowed. Rob Manfred, commissioner of Major League Baseball, has said that if a state or a city or a county or whatever says you cannot have mass gatherings in this locale, they'd move them somewhere else, either spring training facilities, minor league ballpark that does meet the criteria, like say New York City.
Right.
First of all, if I'm playing in Tampa or Miami or Atlanta, I'm voting no on this bitch if I have to play in New York.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go.
No.
No, I'm not going to New York.
No.
Like, no.
So they could find like a minor league ballpark for the Mets and the Yankees, kind of close. It doesn't even really need to be kind of close. They can just play in their spring training facilities. But then the players are like, well, I don't want to stay in a fucking hotel.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you do.
There's not like a decent minor league thing in like further into New Jersey.
I don't know, maybe. I don't have them all memorized.
I mean, or align the schedules up and fucking play at the Phillies stadium. It's a 2-hour freaking drive from less than 2 hours from each stadium, you know? Drive 2 hours. It sucks, but like it's better than being at the spring training.
Yeah, you could. I'm sure there's probably some place in like Connecticut. Even Connecticut's right there. Connecticut's basically all like New York City, though.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Everything. The whole state of New York is New York City.
Well, no, it's not. Here's another thing about New York. Where's Toronto gonna play? Because you can't have every team come up to Toronto to play a 3-game series. oh, you have to quarantine for 14 days.
Yeah.
And every time Toronto leaves and comes back, you have to quarantine. No, that's not going to work.
No.
So, here's my thought. Their AAA affiliate is in Buffalo. Why not just play in Buffalo? I know it's New York, but it's not New York City.
Yeah.
I'm sure Buffalo's a lot better off than New York City.
Yeah.
You would think so anyways. I don't know. Maybe I should have the numbers pulled up for that. I don't really feel like that, though.
No. I'm over it.
Expanded playoffs. Where is that? Is that on here? This is very professional. I think it was on here.
We're rookies.
Was it on here? Expanded playoffs. There it is. 10-14. I think this was the weird thing that Rob Manfred was talking about. Or I guess he was talking about. That's what the leak was, I think.
So what are they going to do with that? Like, the playoff games went from 10 to 14? Is that what that means?
The teams that make it to the playoffs. So it'd be 7 from each.
More. Okay.
From each league.
Okay.
You'll notice that that's an odd number. We already have an odd number, 5 of each. So here's how this is going to work. This was the leak a while ago. And no one liked it. But they threw that in there too. Because they want, this is to get more money. Bigger postseason. More money from TBS, from ESPN, from Fox. And those are their big deals. So, the number 1 seed in each league gets a bye, which you don't even really want in baseball. Because now you're like off for like a week.
Yeah.
You're not playing games. Like that kind of works in football, not really in baseball though.
Yeah.
Except for in Korea. We'll get to that in a second though. Then the second seed picks who out of... So basically, okay. You have the 3 division winners in each league, plus the first wild card. So the number 1 seed, the best team that won a division, they would get the bye, and then the next 2 division winners in the first wild card would go in order by record who they want to play of the 3 other wild card teams. So it's like a big, like, oh, we want to play you. Like, it sounds so dumb.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, they didn't want to play us. They're scared. And the way they're talking about it is like, yeah, no, it doesn't sound as cool as you think. And all the players are like, I don't want a fucking week off. That's not like a reward in baseball. But the way they do it in Korea is they have the number 1 seed is off. They're automatically in the Korea series. And they have 5 teams making in out of 10. So then the 5 and the 4 seed play. And whoever wins plays the 3 seed. And whoever wins plays the 2 seed. And then whoever wins plays the 1 seed in the Korea series. So
Okay.
they could be off for like, they're off for a while.
Yeah.
A couple weeks at least. But usually they win still. So maybe it's not as big a deal as we're thinking.
Yeah.
Baseball players are just like so set in their ways that they just assume that.
Well, they spend all this time like getting their body hyped up and getting into shape and getting ready that like maybe in their head they think, oh, if I have a week off when I'm only used to having 1 day off and that's traveling from stadium to stadium, that they'll get lazy or something, like their body won't be ready.
Well, it's more about like routine, especially with a starting pitcher. You're used to going out and throwing every 5 days, right?
Yeah. I can see that.
So,
it'll just like throw you off your game or something.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you're just pitching like a bullpen session, like it's not the same.
Yeah.
Like an actual batter being there. game situation. Guy on second. 1 out. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
0-2 count. What do you throw? You can do that. It's still not the same, though.
Yeah, because made-up scenarios are not...
No.
It's not the same.
So 30-man roster up from 26 to help deal with getting starting pitchers back up to speed, because they're not going to be going out and throwing like 7 innings right away.
Right.
Because they're only going to get like 2 weeks of spring training. Spring training 2.0. So in order to... The thinking is to have more guys in the bullpen to make up those innings. And then a taxi squad of 20 extra players to make up 50. So I guess these guys are just like training with the team and not playing in games, which means they might not be good to go when someone gets injured. You hope they are.
Yeah.
I've not seen anything about them like playing like taxi squad games against each other when the major league teams are both in town, you know?
Yeah. I feel like that's a lot of like extra.
It is.
Like waste, you know? Like especially if they're going to like start, especially when they are testing these players, if they're testing them every game or whatever it is. It's like that's 20 extra tests.
Well,
at a time.
Well, plus extra trainers and staff and coaches. Yeah. Well, this is what you got to do because there's not going to be a minor league season.
Yeah.
Is basically what they're all kind of admitting with that. And that means a lot of minor league teams are going to have to fold. Because they're not going to get any money this year.
What do you mean by fold? Like
they're done. Bye-bye.
Like not ever coming back?
Yeah.
Wow. Hopefully the Dragons aren't that way.
No. That's a whole other thing. We'll do that in a separate video.
Okay.
That's too much to get into. This has some information. Again, Jeff Passan. He does everything. He's the insider, man. He's talking about safety protocols, testing them multiple times a week. I think you can give a lot of them like the antibody test, right? And be like, okay, you're good.
Yeah.
You have the antibodies. You're fine.
I feel like it's really going to fuck these players up getting those tests done multiple times. Like multiple times a week. Like even once a week. Like that test that I've heard is not any joke. Like I heard from someone who just got one recently. I forgot to tell you about this, but like they just told me that it literally was the worst experience of their life. And then they had surgery right after that because it was so bad, like shoving that thing up there in their nose.
They didn't get the surgery because of the test.
No.
That's what it sounded like for a second.
Separate thing.
They had to get the test because of surgery.
Yeah. It was painful. And like I just couldn't imagine going through it multiple times a week. Like I get it to be safe, but damn.
It does say that high-risk individuals can opt out. With guys who have had cancer who have come back, guys who've had like heart surgery, have wives or children that have whatever.
Yeah.
Don't want to risk their lives.
I'll be interested to see who will opt out because like pretty much any player with children is going to want to be extra cautious. I mean, I know I would. Especially if your children are young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those poor kids, their immune system is so like non-existent.
Tampa Bay Rays ace said Blake Snell says he will not play for reduced salary because he's going to risk getting coronavirus and it's just not worth it. So if they want this 50-50 split, I think, man, you're going to lose a lot of guys. Is that worth it for baseball? Just come on, guys. Just do the thing you already agreed to do. It's not that hard.
Yeah. Do the thing you already agreed to do. Treat your players right. Give them what they deserve.
Bryce Harper's saying the same thing. He ain't lying. He's right. He's speaking the truth, bro. I ain't mad at him. Somebody's got to say it. At least he manned up and said it. Good for him. I love Snowman. Guy's a beast. I mean, you kind of lose Blake Snell and Bryce Harper, and these are just the two guys that said it.
Yeah, there's.
How many of them are thinking it?
Most of them are thinking it.
Because I've heard so many stories of like if you get coronavirus, like it scars your lungs, and it like your lungs are fucked up for like a while after you recover. Like the virus is gone, but you're still feeling the pain. So
yeah, I'm sure that depends on the person too. You know, with the cases.
it depends how severe it is. Obviously,
yeah.
If you're asymptomatic, you'll be fine. But are you gonna be asymptomatic? I don't know.
You don't know.
Maybe, right. Hopefully, probably. Especially these are young guys who are healthy for the most part. I mean, they're professional athletes.
You'd hope they're healthy.
Well, maybe some DHs are on the bigger side. You know.
Yeah.
And when Encarnacion, you gotta love the guy, but you know, he's not like a thin fella. So, I mean, and even like young, healthy people have been hospitalized.
Yeah.
So it's not like a guarantee.
I mean, there's children dying from it, so.
Exactly. So.
I just hope that it's not like they don't decide. I mean, I would understand it if they all decided that it would probably be best just to skip this season. But, like, could you really just skip a whole season? And I really don't want that. I want baseball. I want to watch it. But if it's better for the players and it protects them all, like, and their families, I'd rather do that than risk it.
Well, Rob Manfred, I think it was in this interview here, said that if the season isn't played, Major League Baseball would lose $4 billion. Now, when you hear that, you think they're going to be... It's weird wording. He's kind of technically right, but if you actually look at it, it's like not really. It's like they would gain $4 billion less than they would have.
Yeah, like how much is baseball worth though? Like is $4 billion just like pennies to them? I don't know. $4 billion seems like a lot to me.
No, it's a lot. It's okay. A lot.
But I mean, I don't know how much MLB is worth.
Some teams are even saying like they'll fold. Like the Indians are saying, like we won't be a team. I'm sure Major League Baseball, if your financials are really that bad, I'm sure they can like throw you a couple $1 million to keep you going.
Yeah.
I guess we have 29 teams now.
Yeah, they're gonna want all their teams to come back from this, like start up next year, and like, they're not gonna want to have to rethink everything because that team's gone or a couple teams are gone. You know.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of overblown. That's them trying to scare everyone.
Yeah.
Just agree to the deal, players. Just do you still want a job? You sure you still want a job, Blake Snell? Tampa Bay Rays, they don't have a lot of money. Anyways, that's really about it.
That's it.
You got anything?
No.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for listening, watching. Bye.